We love the company. We love the company. We love the company. We love the company. Dude, how did it take one furry making a silly goof in Unity to have the entire games industry in an uproar about mindlessly slaving away so you don't get eaten alive by some corporate overlords? Lethal Company got me feeling like I'm a manager at Amazon. Bro does not know what to do after high school. Lethal Company, as a lot of you may know, has been the hot new game to talk about. The find a stop sign and bash your friend's head in. The pick up a Rubik's Cube and run away as you're getting chased by the f***ing gay goo. The I took modding Minecraft spiders a little too seriously. It all comes together so well that you wouldn't even realize that it was made by a singular person. Don't make the furry comment. Don't make the don't mention it. Don't mention the furry comment. But man, I would just love it if I could play this in VR. Wouldn't that be so crazy, man? So fucking crazy. You know, life in Lethal Company would just be that much easier if they all had a simple way to contact their friends with an affordable phone plan that only charges you with what you need. I would absolutely kill for that. My brand partner, Mint Mobile, reached out about their very affordable phone plans that could save you hundreds on your phone bill. While yes, Ryan Reynolds is my dad, and for legal reasons, I will no longer talk about Ryan in any sort of professional way. I can confirm that with Mint Mobile, it will be cheaper and easier to switch from big wireless companies that love to charge extra for less features. Switching only takes about 15 minutes. Don't be duped. Go to trymintmobile.com/Fuey in the description below and stop paying more than you have to for your phone plan. For more information, again, try mintmobile.com/Fuey in the description below and start saving. If there's one thing to know about Lethal Company, it's that you should get better friends. In case you haven't been on the internet in the past 6 months, dude, this game is going crazy right now. Lethal Company has taken over as the main game that tons of people are playing right now. This means that the solo developer of Lethal Company is outselling Call of Duty, Battlefield, not the finals, don't mention it, I'm trying to break my addiction, showing that you don't need to fund these massive games to make profit, but you just need to make a fun game and people will play. The whole premise of Lethal Company isn't exactly mind-blowing or as cinematic as these AAA games that constantly dominate top sellers lists. The whole game is just flying from planet to planet, collecting items to meet your quota, and avoiding some eldritch horror type shit, dude. r/5050, wonderful little bug, or the eyes of a thousands. Realistically, you could play this game totally by yourself, but good God would I avoid that shit. Lethal Company doesn't keep me on edge like other horror games, but it gives you that same sense of feeling as playing the finals and a light is invisible behind you. I said I'm trying to break the habit, okay? Or when you finally collect your items and you're making your way back to the ship and someone who has the mega rich patron tier decides, whoopsie, I spent $5 a month to support Viewey, but also close the door on him while bees are chasing me. Don't buy my Patreon. Don't do it. I swear to God. Obviously, any game is going to have a difficulty curve depending on how long you're in it for. Lethal Company being no different. This game will throw the most random bullshit at you, dude. I feel like whenever I pick up a Rubik's Cube, the bugs and creatures are given recon sense from the finals, don't say it, and come to slap your ass with a military-grade spatula, cooking it up like SpongeBob in the company. But the feeling of just overcoming all the obstacles, finding out how to glitch back into the ship after your friend shut the door on you, ringing the bell so the hentai monster obliterates everyone and you lose your save, it all makes Lethal Company so much more fun to play with friends or even just by yourself. But if you're still living under a rock or caught up to date on the finals new game mode, there's one thing for certain. People want to play good games. The fact that people are showing this massive amount of love for an indie game that was made under one person in a fursuit, when you have Activision pouring millions in a Call of Duty game just to get outsold by a funny bug, is the funniest shit in the world to me. But it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter how much money invested, what cost cuts you had to make, people will only play what they're interested in. If they're not interested in fucking Nicki Minaj skins or Homelander, I don't know, I don't play it. Clips just pop up on Instagram sometimes. People will always choose a good game over a big budget game. Again, people will always choose a good game over a big budget game. But in VR, we love the company. We love the company. We love the cool feeling of strapping the Quest 3 on my face while everyone screams around me to get away from some beat. Thanks to the hard work of Daxus? I'm saying it that way. I'm sorry. That's not even part of the script. I'm just fucking stupid. We now have Lethal Company VR, or LCVR for short. This is exactly what it sounds like. Lethal Company in all its glory inside of VR. If you thought Lethal Company was scary before, it only gets worse when you can't see any sort of surroundings outside of the wastelands that Lethal Company has to offer. It's also super simple to install. Real quick tutorial, busting out Notepad, mic muted, Bandicam is on, live in 5, 4, First things first, you'll need to install R2 Modman or Thunderstorm Mod Manager. Either one of these will work, but I've only used R2 Modman, and that's what I'll be demonstrating here. Once you have R2 Modman installed, search for Lethal Company and select it as the game you want to mod. You can set it as default if this is all you plan on using R2 Modman for, but you can also mod games like Bone Lab, Boneworks, Risk of Rain 2, and more, so totally up to you. Now, the mod you'll need is plainly called Lethal Company VR, again by Daxas. You will also need BEP X Pack, but that's for most mods anyways, and it's easy to find in R2 Modman. Once both are installed, head over to Config Editor, find bepenx/config/io.daxas.lcvr.cfg, and edit the config and change Disable VR to false. This will actually let you play the game in VR. This screen will also let you change certain VR settings that normally aren't in the settings of Lethal Company, things like smooth turn, DLSS, upscaling, spectator camera, since the original camera settings are god-awful and make no sense. Who wants to be this close? I feel like I'm sniffing the rust on some of these ladders looking at this footage. And that's it. You now can play Lethal Company in VR. There isn't a whole lot different about the game in VR other than the Mormonism amount of enemies soaking at your face at all times. But regardless, this is in my opinion the best way to play Lethal Company. This also means you can play modded Lethal Company in VR. Just keep in mind if its UI changes, they may or may not work depending on the mod. But enemies, suits, more players, etc. should all still work inside of LCVR. But how well does it actually perform? This mod is now my only way to play Lethal Company. And I'm saying that to also highlight, again, it's a free mod anyone can download. This makes all the more reason to actually use your PC for PC VR and not that stinky Quest, dude. Ew, you changed your brother's diaper. He's sweating so much from Gorilla Tag. It smells like a fucking harbor. And instead of seeing a creature and just pressing Shift and W to run away, you're now in the world with this freaky So now instead of beating the shit out of my keyboard to run away, I beat the shit out of myself and hit the wall. The best part about this mod is that it's completely in VR. None of that 3 degrees of freedom, and you can actually use VR mechanics while using this mod. If you have a flashlight, its shine is dependent on if you actually have the flashlight pointed up or not. If you have a shovel or stop sign, you actually have to swing your arms to hit enemies and not just press a button like the great value version of Pavlov. This sounds like I'm being a Quest kid. Oh my god, a VR mod that lets you actually use VR mechanics. But not all VR mods are created equally, and Daxas did an amazing job of integrating VR mechanics into Lethal Company. And not to talk about features not in the game, but Lakatraz is adding emote support. Dude, I'm fingering my friends so hard. Pause, unpause, rewind. I did find some issues running it with Steam Link. That's not to dog on the mod itself, but just in case you were planning on doing the same. It could have just been my connection, but I did find using my index to be a lot better in terms of performance, considering you can't beat the direct connection to a graphics card. That's right, Questies. You cannot convince me that wireless with Quest 3 will be the same. Input latency is through the roof right now. But overall, you should definitely give Lethal Company VR a try. It's the most fun I've had in this game with me in my 4 hours. But seeing your friend fall to his death with complete immersion is the funniest shit in the world to me, and I couldn't recommend it enough. Thank you to our Mega Rich patrons, A Stupid Artist, Retro, Tor Willem, Wes, Cammy, and Only Mint. And if I could say anything about Lethal Company, it's that we definitely need a hot gamer skin added to the game. If we don't get an epic Fortnite collab by the end of 2024, we're canceling the game and calling the creator a furry again. Make it happen. This is non-negotiable.
Don't understand what's going on here.